Picture a man at his own birthday party. He's surrounded by friends and family. He's smiling, he's laughing, he's the center of attention. On the surface, he is the opposite of alone. But if you could zoom in past the noise and the laughter, you might see a flicker in his eyes, a brief, almost invisible sense of detachment, a feeling that he is an actor on a stage, watching his own life from a distance. When we think of loneliness, we picture solitude, an empty room, a single chair. But for millions of men, loneliness is a crowded room. It's a silent epidemic, a hidden crisis that has little to do with being physically alone and everything to do with being emotionally isolated. Our culture has, for generations, handed men a script for what it means to be strong. Be tough, be independent, be the provider, be the rock. We celebrate stoicism as a masculine virtue. But in teaching men to be rocks, have we accidentally taught them how to be islands? Today, we're going to have an honest conversation about the psychology of male loneliness. We'll explore the invisible prisons that our society can build around men, understand the deep-seated reasons why it's so hard for many men to connect, and talk about the courageous work of breaking free. This isn't about placing blame, it's about building a bridge of understanding. Pillar 1. The man box, the prison of emotional suppression. The first and most foundational pillar of male loneliness is a set of rigid, unspoken rules that society has long enforced. Psychologists sometimes call it the man box. Imagine a small, confining container labeled acceptable male emotions. Inside that box, you're allowed to be confident, you're allowed to be competitive, and you are definitely allowed to be angry. But what's left outside the box? Almost everything else that makes us human: sadness, fear, confusion, loneliness, and the most crucial ingredient for connection, vulnerability. From a very young age, boys are taught to keep their feelings inside this box. Let's imagine a scenario that is all too common. You're a man we'll call Mark. You just found out that a major project you've been leading at work for 6 months has failed. It's a huge blow to your career and your confidence. You come home, and your partner can immediately see that something is terribly wrong. They sit next to you on the couch, put a hand on your knee, and ask with genuine concern, "What happened? You can talk to me." Inside your head, a storm is raging. You feel the crushing weight of failure, the fear of what comes next, the deep sadness of your hard work coming to nothing. You have a desperate human need to share that burden, to just say, "I failed, and I'm scared." But the old programming kicks in. A voice from your childhood says, "Toughen up, handle it." A voice from society says, "Don't burden her with your problems, be the rock." So you clench your jaw, force a reassuring smile, and you say the 5 words that build a wall around your heart. "It's fine, just a tough day." This isn't a conscious lie told to deceive. It's an unconscious reflex born from a lifetime of emotional training. The psychological result is a state of normative alexithymia, a term for the difficulty in identifying and describing one's own emotions. When you spend decades learning to suppress your feelings, you eventually lose the language for them. You can't share your inner world because you no longer have a map to it. A healthy relationship is built on emotional reciprocity, but a man trapped in the man box can only offer a fraction of his authentic self, creating a profound and lonely gap between him and the people who love him most. Now, it's important to add a layer of nuance here. Is stoicism always bad? Of course not. The ability to remain calm and functional in a true crisis, an accident, an emergency, is an incredible strength. The problem isn't the existence of stoicism in the male toolkit. The problem is when it becomes the only tool. When the ability to be strong in a crisis transforms into an inability to be soft in a moment of peace, connection becomes impossible. The long-term consequence of this emotional suppression is devastating. It leads to men who are loved but not truly known. They live as strangers in their own homes, silently carrying the full weight of their humanity, convinced that showing it would be their greatest failure. Pillar 2. The friendship recession, the prison of lost intimacy. The second prison that contributes to male loneliness is a well-documented social phenomenon, the friendship recession. It refers to the quiet, often unintentional fading of deep, emotionally intimate male friendships as men transition into adulthood. While women are often socialized to maintain face-to-face friendships built on conversation and mutual support, men are often pushed towards shoulder-to-shoulder friendships built around a shared activity. Imagine a group of 4 best friends in college. Their bond is incredibly deep. They stay up all night sharing their fears about the future, their romantic anxieties, their family problems. Their friendship is a safe space for total vulnerability. They are emotionally intertwined. Now, let's fast forward 15 years. The same 4 men get together once a month for poker night. They laugh, they tell jokes, they complain about work, they talk about sports. The camaraderie is real, they are having fun. But the conversation stays on the surface. One of the men, Dave, is in the middle of a painful separation from his partner and is feeling lost and depressed. But as he sits there with the men who were once his closest confidants, he says nothing about it. The unspoken rule of poker night is that we don't talk about heavy stuff. It would kill the vibe. His friends might sense he's off, but they don't have the social tools or the permission to break through the surface-level banter and ask, "No, really, man, are you okay?" The psychology behind this is a powerful combination of the man box and shifting social priorities. As men enter careers and start families, society expects their primary emotional confidant to be their romantic partner. Friendships, which were once a core source of emotional support, are often relegated to the category of hobby or leisure. This places an immense and often unsustainable burden on one person, usually a wife or girlfriend, to be his everything. His lover, his best friend, his therapist, his cheerleader. A healthy emotional life is like a well-balanced ecosystem. It requires multiple sources of nourishment, a partner, family, and a network of deep, authentic friendships. The friendship recession forces men to rely on a single source, which not only strains their romantic relationship, but leaves them terrifyingly isolated if that relationship ends or goes through a difficult period. The long-term consequence is a generation of men who have many buddies, but few true friends. They have people to watch a game with, but no one to call when their own life is in the 4th quarter and they are losing badly. They are surrounded by people, but they are starving for the kind of platonic intimacy that is a fundamental human need. Let's pause on that for a moment. Think about the close male friends in your life. Or, if you're a man watching this, think about your own friendships. When was the last time you had a conversation that went deeper than work, sports, or jokes? It's a rare and powerful thing. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Okay, let's talk about the third prison. Pillar 3. The burden of performance, the prison of the rock. The third prison is the immense, unspoken pressure on men to perform the role of the infallible rock, the provider, the protector, the problem solver. This is a powerful social archetype, deeply embedded in our cultural DNA. To be a good man often means to be the one who has the answers, who is calm in a crisis, who can carry the weight of the world on his shoulders without complaint. While this role can be a source of immense pride and purpose, it can also become a deeply isolating prison. It forbids a man from ever admitting, "I'm scared, I don't know what to do," or "I need help." Let's create one last scenario. A man named James is the primary earner for his family. He learns that his company is facing major layoffs and his job is at risk. The fear is a cold knot in his stomach. He lies awake at night, his mind racing with worst-case scenarios. His wife, who loves him deeply, can see the stress etched on his face. She comes to him, touches his arm, and says, "Please tell me what's wrong. Whatever it is, we'll face it together." He wants to. He desperately wants to unload his terror, to share the burden. But the voice of the rock in his head is louder. It tells him, your job is to be the shield. Your fear will become her fear. Your uncertainty will make her feel unsafe. Be strong. Handle it. So he looks at his wife, summons a reassuring smile he does not feel, and says, "Don't you worry. Just a stressful project at work. I've got it under control." He has chosen to protect her from his anxiety, but in doing so, he has also shut her out from his life. He has chosen to face his greatest fear completely alone. The psychology here is a dangerous conflation of providing protection with projecting perfection. Many men feel that admitting their own fear or fallibility is a fundamental failure of their duty to keep their loved ones safe. They believe their strength is measured by their stoicism. But a healthy partnership thrives on shared vulnerability. True strength in a relationship isn't one person being an unshakable rock for the other to hide behind. It's two people building an arch, each leaning on the other, creating a structure that is stronger than either of them could be alone. By refusing to share his burden, James isn't just protecting his wife, he is denying her the opportunity to be his true partner. He is robbing them both of the deeper level of intimacy that is only forged in shared struggle and mutual support. The nuance here is critical. Being reliable and a source of strength are wonderful, positive traits. They become a prison only when the person feels they are not allowed to have a moment of weakness themselves. The long-term consequence of this burden of performance is a profound and tragic isolation that often appears at the moments of greatest need. Men can find themselves navigating the most terrifying challenges of life, illness, grief, financial ruin, in a state of complete emotional solitude, surrounded by a family they love but have never learned how to truly lean on.
So, why do these patterns persist? They are deep-seated, woven from threads of history, sociology, and evolution. For much of human history, the roles of protector and provider were essential for survival, and the stoicism they required was a valuable trait. But that world is not our world. Our modern challenges are more often psychological than physical, and the old emotional armor that once protected men is now imprisoning them. So, what can we do? The solution starts with conversation. It starts with all of us, together, working to redefine what it means to be a strong man. Real strength is not the absence of feeling, it is the courage to feel, and to share that feeling honestly and appropriately. If you are a man feeling this way, the work starts with taking a small risk. Choose one person in your life, your partner, a trusted friend, a brother, and share one small thing you are struggling with. You don't have to unload everything at once. Just crack the door open. You may be surprised by the empathy that meets you on the other side. And destigmatize seeking professional help. Seeing a therapist isn't a sign of being broken. It's a sign that you are strong enough to want to build a better life. If you love a man who you think is struggling in silence, the work is about creating a safe harbor. It's about learning to ask twice. First, how are you? And when he gives the automatic, "I'm fine," you can gently ask again, "No, really, how are you?" It's about listening without immediately trying to fix the problem. Sometimes, the greatest gift you can give someone is not a solution, but the quiet, loving space to simply be heard without judgment. This is a conversation that matters. If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with a man in your life, a friend, a brother, a father, or a son. It's a way to start a difficult conversation without having to find all the words yourself. Subscribe to our channel for more conversations that help us understand each other and ourselves a little better. Thank you for watching.